What? R8RBEAR! Woo! Let's go! Asaltante Oso. That bear you all know. Out of hibernation to entertain Raider Nation. Yeah. Sup? If only there was something to talk about. Say it ain't so. Often imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! Woo! The Raider Bear! Alright, that's enough nonsense. We have business. Like major league business. Alexa, hush. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. Raider Bear Live, blah, 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 blah. Tradish! Raider Bear Live, first comment. Woo! MVP tonight goes to John the Lion. Always catching L's, but never taking losses. John the Lion, my friend and viewer of this show for X amount of time, and it's been like a heck of time. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Our gold medalist tonight. Second place, our silver medal goes to that legend among legends. I'm ready to put you in that stratosphere now. Vanderlyn! It's true. Thinking about where I might fit you on Mount Rushmore now. Third place, my bronze medal goes to the middleweight champion of the world, the silver son of a gun, Mark Vargas. Facebook, let's go. First place, I love this name. First place, gold medal, Mike Henderson, because if anyone can do, it's Hendu. What's up, Mike? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear. Oh, isn't this juicy? Second place, my silver medal goes to... And you guys know I love it when a Raiderette slides into the sausage fest. That is my medal round, because there's far too many dudes. Well, Kim Lassetti! Oh, a paisan in the house. Kim, you're lucky I'm married, because I have a thing for Italian women. You want to ask Mama Bear. Third place, my bronze medal goes to... Back to back, shut up. Another Raiderette, one of my faves. Does that give it away? Corinna! Hello! Corinna, you're the only person I've ever done that for, and I've been doing this show for 10 years. I've always had a bell. And I've always rang it for when people would give me tokens, but I never did it for someone as their celebration. And I do that for you because of how much you help here at Raider Bear Family Page. Speaking of which, consider a subscription to Raider Bear Family Page. It's just that $5 a month and you can cancel anytime. Now that's on Facebook. On YouTube, it's free. All you have to do is hit like and subscribe. And I would really appreciate it because I'm trying to get the old algorithm kicking here. so I can get my voice out to more people. Now, watching the algorithms and other stuff that's going on YouTube with other producers of content with the Raiders, and I don't like to act too arrogant about that kind of thing. I feel like I do one of the best shows. I feel like I entertain well. I answer questions and I embrace my audience. But my problem is I know sometimes, every once in a while, I'm wrong. Or I don't know something, and so I do a little research. And so, having watched some of the shows, having caught up with some of the press, the hot item right now is, what are we going to do at offensive coordinator? If we sign someone, is it going to be our offensive coordinator, or are we just bringing in a guy to, be like a substitute teacher until we get through these final, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, some crazy number? But I'm concerned that what's going to happen is they're probably just going to elevate someone. Like, for example, why not Philbin? One of the assistant head coaches that we brought in. You know what I mean? If we let go of Patrick Graham, why not give it, the job to Marvin Lewis? He knows the defense. Philbin knows the offense. You know what I mean? Why not them just steward it? Now, why do I say that? The reason I say that, and this is not an opinion I found on any other show. No one was talking about this. This is just my opinion. Now, I would challenge you, go out there and click on some of these other guys, these Raider and sports shows of other teams and so on and so forth, and see if they bring you this. Okay, so here it is. I think they're going to put sort of a substitute teacher package in for the Raiders and Antonio Pierce. Then, when that's over, at the end of this season, when Tom and, the other guy they're bringing in, I always forget his name, Richard Seymour. I don't always forget his name. When Tom and Richard Seymour come in and really sit down on this franchise. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is they're still consolidating business and assets and so on and so forth. And I know, okay, this is not a maybe. I'm telling you first, absolute certain, okay? Tom Brady is of the sorry, I say his name too fast sometimes. He is of the mind that he wants to keep the fraternity together. He wants to keep the mind trust and the guys he knows affiliated with this. So the makeover Patriot style that Mark Davis tried to start with Josh McDaniels, which obviously was a failure. I don't understand why they did that the way they did. Why wouldn't you have just elevated one of the assistants, wait until Tom and Richard Seymour are on, and then start Josh McDaniels at head coach? Now, if you had done that, you would have had Tom really directing the ship, but a guy who's a spineless puppet to to take orders and be the head coach in name only. But in reality, he would be like a video game controller in his back for Tom. And he would just say, Josh, run this. And Josh would say, yes, sir. And that, he would be the head coach in name only. Or had he been the offensive coordinator. I mean, in reality, you screwed up the offensive coordinator opportunity. Had you not hired him at all and just given AP the job, he would have now probably 2 years of losing. You could justify letting him go, but that would be to elevate Mike Vrabel. Stay with me. Stay with me. Now, Mike Vrabel used to play with Tom. You guys all know that. And so he can come in either as the head coach or the defensive coordinator. And then if things don't work out with whoever your head coach pick is, the obvious decision, you elevate Mike Vrabel. I know I'm going fast, but stay with me. Now, look back to other Patriot guys that stood out for that team. Okay? Gronk. Right? What says Gronk doesn't come back and help him? Even if it's just upstairs, helping with the guys on the field during practice, but then just being in the box upstairs with Tom. I'm telling you, it's uncomfortable to me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But what people don't understand is I don't have a line crossed. In other words, almost even the most diehard Raider fan will sometimes say, oh, if they cross this line, I'm done. I'm not a fan anymore. And then you'll have people who never say that. They just think it. Okay? The difference between myself and them is I never think of a scenario where I'm not a Raider fan. Ever. It doesn't matter how much they lose. It doesn't matter that they're losing this year. I don't care that we're right in the middle of it. I don't. I don't know. I don't know why people get so mad. I really don't. Now, when I say that, I don't mean any disrespect. I love all of you. But what I mean is this is what it is. We're not the only team losing, guys. We're not the only team having a bad year. You know what I mean? We're not the only team having struggles. It happens. You know what I mean? You have a certain set of teams that haven't quite got it right yet. You have a certain set of teams that are good, that can compete, but they're not necessarily Super Bowl teams. And then you have a handful like the Lions and the Eagles now starting to look like themselves again. I know you guys all saw that run by Saquon Barkley. That was insane. But I think Tom and Richard Seymour are going to make some sort of brain trust. Think about it. Look at the situation. Tom was what? An offensive guy, a quarterback. What was Richard Seymour? Defensive guy. Brain trust. See, the two of them are going to puppet build the rest of the Raiders front office. You're not hearing that said by anyone, I promise you. And that's what's going to happen. I mean, what keeps them from bringing in Belichick? If you do that, you save face for Antonio Pierce. Because if you replace Antonio Pierce with Belichick, no one's gonna say, "Oh wow, look what happened to Antonio Pierce." No one's gonna say that. They'll expect even Antonio Pierce to understand you can't have the job anymore because it's Bill freaking Belichick. Whether you like him or don't like him doesn't matter. The guy has multiple Super Bowls, and he's considered by many to be a genius. Now, whether that's correct or not, I would just say that I don't think he's a genius. And I don't like the idea of them doing it. I'm just telling you what my antenna raised up high and looking at everything that's happening. You know what I mean? Voodoo taking the chicken bones and tossing them on top of the gas can and waving my hands over them. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a rebuild from the ground up, but with former Patriot guys on staff. There was a kid, I apologize, I don't even know his name. I probably should have said the name of him and his show. I think he's a good kid. But there's a kid, he does a show, and he's busy on YouTube. You'll probably see him. Real educated, glasses. He was basically talking about the fact that, what about Wes Welker? And you notice I'm giving him credit. I'm not taking his idea. That was his idea. He said he thinks someone like Wes Welker should get the job. I don't know how bad or good that is. I mean, there's been plenty of guys with the Pats that were smart. Maybe he picks one of them. Who knows? Maybe it's Wes Welker. You bring him in. Maybe he starts as a wide receiver coach or something like that. I don't know. But whatever combination it is, I can't roll the dice. I can't go to Vegas on my idea, on what I'm seeing, and gamble on it, you know what I mean? Because there's too many variables to it, like the one we saw with Josh McDaniels. If Josh McDaniels were sitting at home right now and hadn't joined us at all, he would get the job. Antonio Pierce would be out. Tom would be upstairs with his hand in McDaniels' back, treating him like a puppet, and making it happen. And I hate to say it, even though I loathe everything Patriots and Tom Brady, and I always will. If they're with us, they're with us. I don't like it. I know why all of you wouldn't like it, but I don't quit things. You know what I mean? That's why this isn't in crayon, or it's not magic marker. It can never come off. And I didn't put it on my back or my shoulder or my leg like a lot of people do. I put it on my hand, right out in the open. So the moment you see me, you know what's up. Whether I'm wearing Raider clothes or I'm wearing red, white, and blue, you know what's up. Gave myself the goosebumps. Alpha and Omega, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. It looks like AP said he puts foots in Getsy and got him out of here finally. Yeah, you had to do it. You had to do it. But, I mean, in reality, I felt like Getsy was a sacrificial lamb anyway. I feel like the master plan is to have all this ups and downs and topsy-turvy until Tom sits down. Now, again, what do I mean by that? Tom's out, doing other things. He's broadcasted, and, he's working with this, and he's working with the soccer team he owns. Yes, he owns a European soccer team. And so, the guy's busy. But I feel like when the season is finished and we're off, which obviously Raiders, it's never really an off season, because even in the off season, everyone's getting in shape. There's rumors about what they're doing with their personal life and things like that. So we cover everything. Okay, R8RBEAR family page. Like and subscribe. Woo. But I think that he will bring in someone. I think he will bring in someone from the Patriots past, and he will bring them to try to get things going. I don't think the Belichick thing is a good idea. I just don't. I know a lot of people feel like Brady's relationship with Belichick, he could get him to come back, and I wouldn't doubt that. But I don't think it's a good idea, and I think Tom doesn't think it's a good idea. And not to mention, Alpha and Omega again said it best. Just tank, baby. Now, where's the connection there? Shedeur Sanders. It goes further than just saying his name, though. Oh, yeah, Bear, we all know Shedeur Sanders. Yeah. Remember, look deeper. We've already heard it talked about. There's already been at least one article about it. I think it was in SB Nation. Personal relationship between Tom, Dion, and Shedeur. Knows them well. And you know that Dion, being the mastermind marketer that he is, don't let all the shiny glasses and the jewelry fool you. That guy knows his business, okay? He was a serious entrepreneur way ahead of his time. If Deion Sanders were coming into the league right now, he'd get $300 million. He would get $300 million. He would tell them they have to give it to him. He would. He's everything like Antonio Brown with all the bragging and the showboating and the dancing, but it's real and he can back it all up. Whereas Antonio Pierce was just an idiot. I mean, Antonio Pierce, listen to me. Not Antonio Pierce. Antonio Brown. Travis Kelly, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. I'm just trying to catch up because I wasn't reading your questions. I was just kind of giving you what I had. David Pell-Cliver, you were the first, okay? You're on the number one position in my Mount Rushmore. And since I mentioned DPC, oh, David Pell-Cliver! He and I always had an inside joke that I had to have weapons when I would say his name because it sounded like a fighting name. Well, there you go, brother. You get the Wolverine claws for the night. And yes, obviously I had the prop right in the ready. Just for that reason. Look at you always. Corinna True Hero! We appreciate that, and we appreciate you. And please, if you enjoy the show, consider stars because they go to charities all over the world, like Kids in Need of Desks, where we worked with kids going to Africa each and every year, getting a certain amount of kids a full year of tuition in school. We also work with Punks for Autism and St. Jude's and early onset cancer at St. Jude's, and we've done, I've forgotten the number now. I know we were over $7,000 though, the last time I checked. But now that we're in November, coming right up on the end of the year soon, I don't think we're going to break $10,000. I was trying to break $10,000, but. Let's see, Norv Turner's kid or Gruden? Ramiro, I don't want anything to do with Gruden. I don't want anything to do with Gruden. We need to put the Gruden thing to bed forever. Okay? I'm putting butts in any idea of even talking to Gruden. What are you going to tell me next? Should we bring back Derek Carr too? Oh, but come on, Bear. The cusp. Yeah, no. Now that he's lost 7 games in a row with the Saints, you know, the team that was predicted to potentially go to a Super Bowl because they were so good. But now all of a sudden, loss, and he's got his own players talking trash about him. By the way, karma is a BS because it always comes back and finds you. Derek Carr is right now leading all quarterbacks in NFL history in most losses to a different NFL team. So so he has lost at least once to every single team in the NFL. No one else can say that except one. There is still one team that Derek Carr has never taken a loss to, but just one. He has taken a loss to every team in the NFL but one. Them Las Vegas Raiders! Karma! Stop it, you mean woman, you. He's dust. He's dust. And guys, have you looked at the schedule lately? I'm going to talk about this on every show. On every show until we get the Saints game. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have the schedule up? I got to see if I have the schedule up. Oh, man. No, that's not it. Let me move this up here. Wait. Maybe that's it. No. Nope. Man, I am just striking out right now. Okay, there we go. All right, let me see here. We have the Tampa Bay Bucks Sunday. They're coming off short rest because they're playing tonight. And then we have the Atlanta Falcons, the pesky Jacksonville Jaguars. They looked good the other day. And then week 17, second to the last game, New Orleans Saints. So everyone's going to be beaten up. You know, they'll have injuries. We'll have injuries. So, yeah, we'll give it to them. Let's see. I apologize. That was my mistake. We do not have them next. We have the Miami Dolphins next. I just looked at the schedule. Totally wrong. Okay, so we have the Dolphins, the Broncos. We have Kansas City again, and then the Bucks, then the Falcons, Jaguars, then finally the New Orleans Saints. Sounds like a lot when you read it like that. And in reality, it is. But we're coming off the bye. We're going to get the Dolphins. We're going to be on the road. We're going to have a fine opportunity there. I'm not sure what's going on with Tua. I thought Tua was going to be out of the league by now. I really did. And I don't mean like out of the league like he quits. I mean out of the league like the NFL was going to step in and say, look, we don't want you taking any more hits, man. You take another bad one, and if you end up in a wheelchair or something like that, we're going to have another, 8 months of parents going, no, kids shouldn't play football. You know what I mean? And everyone quitting Wii football because their moms don't want them to get broken necks. It's a shame. There are 10 teams doing the same as us. We wouldn't rank well in the draft, so tanking isn't going to help us. Tanya, honestly, I'm never good with tanking because, one, you're just risking getting in trouble. Two, even if you don't get in trouble, we all know that guys who become legends come out of the third, fourth, and fifth rounds. So it doesn't matter if we tank to get a higher number one pick. Sure, could we then have our pick the litter of one of the better guys or what our potential? Remember, guys, it doesn't matter who goes first, second, third. Look at Caleb Williams right now with the Bears. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, the number one overall pick, and he's looking around with his painted fingernails. Yeah, you heard me. He paints his fingernails. It's for some good cause, but that doesn't make it any less weird, okay? I gotta draw a line somewhere. All right, why did the Bucks versus Queefs game make me nauseous after seeing all this red like that? Super Bowl, I didn't bother watching the Bucks and the Queefs. No, I didn't either. No, yeah, I haven't watched this. All of the Super Bowls that the Chiefs, I haven't watched them. I haven't watched one. Now, have I seen a play here and there? Of course, but I'm not tuning in. Why do I need to see that? For example, if the Niners and the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl again somehow, I know the Niners aren't playing well, so they're probably not going to make it. But if they made it somehow, I'm not interested. You know what I mean? I'm just not. Oh, whoops. Sorry about that, guys. My reminder thingy. Stephen Lee, what's up? Welcome to the show. Jim Garrison, hey, R8RBEAR. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Hi, Tommy. No, I came on an hour earlier, Tommy, for everyone, because I'm in Arizona, and we do not turn the clocks back. We just tough it out. Jade Yerger, I see you there. I think I answered your question already. I don't like the idea of that at all. We have to remember, it's just not even realistic. I'm just being honest, it's not even realistic. You have to remember, we just went into a lawsuit with this. And to my knowledge, it's not over. I don't think we're out of the lawsuit with Gruden. So there's no way. I don't even know if that's legal. Can you work for someone millions of dollars if you've already sued them? I mean, if anyone could do it, Gruden would find a way to do it with the Raiders. Yeah, I know that was weird. But it's true. Crazy Squirrel in the house. What's up, Will Nanoff? Welcome to the show, Carlos Megana. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Bill Belichick is not a good coach. We talked about this before. He did nothing before he had Brady, and he's done nothing since. Yeah. But see, Belichick, Jim, what you have to understand is he would be a puppet like he was for Bob Kraft through Tom Brady. See, even Kraft, remember, think back, even Kraft told Belichick, shut up and do what he says. Get rid of Garoppolo. Get rid of Jacoby Brissett. Tom doesn't want two guys breathing down his neck thinking they're going to be the starter. Get rid of him. And he did it. And remember, famously, Belichick said, I hated it. I was so mad. So I called the Niners and just gave him Garoppolo, for a second-round pick when I could have gotten more. And he was right. You know what I mean? He absolutely could have got more. But he didn't care because he was being forced to by Tom, and it pissed him off. And having that extra physical therapist that Tom had there that was a part of the 12 system and all that, they didn't want any of that. You really think that if Bob Kraft put his foot down, they couldn't have stopped that? Of course he could. They were making jokes, making social media films of it, running around to secret offices to get their little hand job massage thing, whatever it is. I don't want to talk about it. Vernon Marshman, AP lacks coaching experience and he needs to go. He defers to Lewis because he doesn't know and has no grasp of the team's identity. Remember, NFL is a business, so you don't have the CEO defer to the maintenance worker on how to run the business. Honestly, Vernon, welcome to the show. I am not agreeing with you, but I'm not disagreeing with you for this reason. If they don't fire him, I get it. What would be the point when you're not going to have a great season? It's already too far. We're already too far into it when you consider we don't have a quarterback, because whether we brought in this kid Ritter from the Cardinals or not, so what? At first, Gardner Minshew is not going to be the starter. It's going to be Ritter. Ritter's going to go out there, and then Ritter's going to play win or lose until AOC is healthy. Then AOC will be given the opportunity to go back in front of Ritter, and Gardner Minshew will be given the opportunity to get in the drive-thru line at Wendy's and get a double cheesy and fries. Because if he thinks he's going to get to throw any more interceptions or fumbles that he farts out of his face like he was doing last week, he can forget that, because I'm putting foots in him. Because I've had enough of the Gardner, okay, and how they like that he looks like Bill Reynolds. Ooh, go get him, Smokey and the Bandit. No, stop smoking and put the ball in our guys' hands and not the other teams. I'm sorry, I get my dander up and I get all sassy when Mama Bear's in the room. Because now I'm pissed. So anyway, yes, obviously the season is over. Don't ask me if I really mean that. Of course I do. Raider Miguel, what's up? Welcome to the show. Do you think they really enjoy when I yell at them? Yeah, I think they do. Mr. Bear Dad's on his way from D.C. I don't know if he'll be here before you go off the air, though. Well, we'll see. Brown Panthers, Titans are before us in the draft, and they need quarterbacks unless we make a deal with the Patriots, but why would they help us? Well, Tanya, they might help us because the Patriots are so bad right now that them taking a high first-round pick doesn't improve their team. In reality, it kind of hurts it, because if you bring in, let's say, a really good prospect at quarterback, he's getting sacked over and over again because their offensive line isn't any good. He's getting bullied around because he doesn't have a running game, and because he doesn't have a running game, they're going to tee off on their young quarterback, etc. So look at what the Panthers had happen with Bryce Young. It's that, basically. Bryce Young is not as bad as he looks. He's not, guys. It's just everything around him is horrible. The coaching staff, the owner, the players, they're terrible. The Panthers are a shambles. They're a joke. And we lost to them. It's so embarrassing. I know, okay? But they still are. It doesn't matter if they beat us or not. I want us to draft Dylan Gabriel, quarterback from the Oregon Ducks. He's got great size, mobility, and has a cannon of an arm. He also played for a few other college football teams for his Okay. I like that. Stephen Lee is saying Cam Ward. Now, I like the idea of Cam Ward too, brother, but there's too many other teams that also feel that way. And what Tony Carpenter Evans is trying to import on us is correct. We would have a number 8, number 7, maybe number 6 pick at best. Because there are going to be teams that finish worse than we do, but have better strength of schedules than we do. So they'll be a little higher in the totem pole, so to speak, of who gets what draft pick. Or draft position, excuse me. Can we just copy what the Dodgers organization is doing so we can start winning? No, I wish we could. Yeah, Jesse, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. It's daylight savings for everyone else, but for Arizonans, it's 8 o'clock, not a little after 7. Pair Gabriel with a young OC head coach with some quality experience, and we're set for the future. I don't want Shedeur Sanders. He's not in his father at the quarterback position, meaning the best in college. Well, Alpha and Omega, I value your opinion, but I would say this to you. We can't lose sight of the fact that a young quarterback coming out of college is just a protege. I would be willing to bet you've seen at least a couple of old Shaolin movies, okay? Especially the 36 Chambers. If you haven't seen that one, shame on you. But remember, in the 36 Chambers, the guy thought he could fight, but he wasn't even fit. He wasn't even strong yet. And so they made him go through boot camp and all this kind of lifting and running and taking these buckets of water that were super heavy, but he had to extend his arms out straight and he couldn't bend his elbows. And if he lowered his arm or bent his elbows, there's a knife on the back of his elbow that would stab him. They worked that hard, okay? He's got to get that. You need that guy. You know what I mean? And that's what he's coming in as, though. You got to put him through the torture chamber and then see if you spit out a winner. Look what happened with Justin Fields with the Bears. Even though he played terrible with the Bears, every team in the league was salivating at getting a shot at the guy. Now, did you hear about a lot of teams? No. That doesn't mean a lot of those teams didn't want him. It was because the timing of it wouldn't work. For example, look at Seattle. If you bring in a young star there, you're still building the rest of the team around. The rest of the team is old. You know what I mean? Seattle's still kind of just languishing around with Geno Smith. They don't really care how many games they win or lose. Look at a Seattle Seahawks game and tell me that, and tell me I'm wrong. They just play games. They're perpetually tanking. Geno Smith is never going to be anything more than a good place setter starter. But in reality, he's a backup. Look, and it's been a good story. Geno Smith has been throwing the rock and winning games for Seattle. I get it. But he's not a starter. He's Black Gardner Minshew. He is. Corinna, I believe Derek Carr is injured right now, yes. Bob Standard, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Vicky again. I'm glad to see you, Vicky. Vicky, I apologize. I know I owe you a pair of sunglasses. I swear I'm working on it. I've just been bad about orders and going to the post office right now and getting stuff done because I've been busy with my daughter and getting her to work and other stuff and clean the house and feed the dogs and get time on my bike with Mama Bear. Help her with her job. On and on and on. Mahomes just tweaked his ankle. I think he's going to be out of the game. Let's go, Bucks. Yeah, good play, Bucks. Way to go get him. He's got to go down. He's got to go down hard. Reyes Antonio loves my beanie. Let's go. I don't care what your political affiliation is. Everyone is welcome on R8RBEAR family page. Remember that. That will never change. Okay. This is going to change, though, right now. This is a safe space in that way. Definitely a safe space. Okay, this is pissing me off. Okay, so now, honestly, we heard about different coaches coming in and so on. I don't really think they have anyone in mind right now, and if they do, it's probably more smoke and mirrors until we get into the end of the season, and then they can go into the off season and work out with the guy what other coaches he'll want and so on and so forth. Because they're not going to talk about it right now. It would be disrespectful to AP to talk about it right now. And more importantly, for the viewer who said that he should go because he has no experience and he shouldn't be deferring to people, I never really answered that effectively. So here I want to answer that, and I won't take forever. This will be brief. The reason why he would do that is because he really is learning certain things. It's not bad that a guy who's been a coach but not an NFL coach would lean to an overtly experienced, okay, If you're trying to become a magician and you meet Gandalf, talk his ear off. Do you see what I'm saying? And so that's not a bad thing. So I don't mind that he does that. But what I do mind is that he doesn't impact the football game. They do. And because they're trying to do it through him, the translation of it and the energy, it's not the same. It's just not the same. I know you guys know that old game Coffee where, someone starts a rumor on one end and they whisper it in the person's ear, and then you whisper it in the ear of 15 other people all the way down, and by the time you get to the last person, the rumor is completely different because each person hears it just a little bit differently. Each person pronounces it just a little bit differently, and suddenly it's different. And I think that's what we're having here. I don't think the players feel like he's in charge. I feel like if you see that and I see that as fans, how could the players not see it? And can they respect that if they know he's a former player, he's a former coach, just not at the NFL level? He's being given an opportunity, and he looks like he's kneeling before the experienced guys. It's not fair. He's super underexperienced next to them. But that doesn't have anything to do with move in different player personnel. Talk to a guy, get in his ear, and send him out there at defensive tackle and get a stop in the middle and a fumble recovery. But see, he's not having those moments where he gets a guy, pulls him aside, and, with 3 minutes left in the third quarter and tells him to go do that. And then Butler goes out and does it. You know what I mean? He needs that. He needs that moment where he can pump his fist and say, yeah, that's my guy. I just told him I'd go get that. You know what I mean? We need that. Mahomes is out with an injury. Oh, no. How terrible. I feel so bad for him. I wonder if Gil Moody's going to come on now. Where's Gil Moody now? Joey Rivera said Norv Turner is coming back with his son. I can remember a story. I know some of you will. And Joey, damn, what an awesome profile picture, man. Damn. If that's you catching that fish, I'm impressed, brother. That's amazing. Wow, that's incredible. Now, if Norv Turner comes back with his son, you have a genius mind trust there. That's like Shanahan coming back for his son, Shanahan with the Niners. The only thing that would happen to his son is he would be even more tuned in, even crispier with his calls, even more confident, doing even more diversity and things like that. You would absolutely see that. And we could see that if we do that with Norv Turner. Now, I don't think it's been announced officially yet, but I have heard enough about the Norv Turner thing with his son coming in as like a pseudo assistant. In reality, they're going to say it in reverse. They're going to say the son's in charge and that dad's here as the experienced one to make sure blah, 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 blah. And I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with that. And so what I was going to say was Norv Turner was known for famously doing this in 3 different football teams where he would land there. The last one famously was Alex Smith with the Niners. Alex Smith was still kind of regarded as a potential starter, but he'd already had 3 or 4 years under his belt where he was just always mediocre. You know what I mean? Not bad, but not great. Just always pretty good. And then a mistake here and there. He was blonde Derek Carr. So fast forward, they bring in Norv Turner to direct the Niners offense. And like that, he got into Alex Smith's head. And Alex Smith said in an interview, he is the smartest coach I've ever met. And the moment we started working together, I got everything. I saw everything differently. He repeating what Alex Smith said word for word. Okay, so hear me out because you'll like this. And then Alex Smith just basically said he has the best coaching acronym where he sits down with you and really makes sure, do you get this? Do you see where this does this? Then he plays video. Then he goes back to the chalkboard. Then he goes to the tablet. And just really, he has a way of burning it into your head to where now when it happens on the field, it's like, oh, he told me that was going to happen. Okay. You know what I mean? And then you start to feel more and more confident in yourself because the things he's telling you that will work, they do. He'll change footwork. He'll make the tiniest adjustment to how you deliver the ball, how you hold it. Instead of holding it down here, to have you hold it up here and not with one hand doing this, but with 2 hands the entire time, the hand never coming off until you're thinking about throwing or ball faking. But other than that, always 2 hands. And he does those little things, coaches a guy into knowing who his emergency is, be either on the right or the left, in the tight end, running back, or both, for him to lay the ball up, just a little 5-yard pass so he doesn't get sacked, gets out of pressure, and the offense still moves. Norv Turner is a genius at that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, he's a genius. He really is. He's forgotten more football than a lot of guys know. The reason why you never hear about it is because Norv Turner is like the least like pat on the back, rah kind of guy you'll ever meet. He is so quiet and well mannered and just like he's just a nice guy. It's like the guy you see in the apple juice commercial that's in an orchard, and he just looks nice, and he's got his overalls on, and he's saying, "How you doing, everybody?" He's kind of like that. he's got like a down home kind of folksiness to him, and it works because it's legit. It's not fake. He has no hyperbole. He just educates and moves on. You know what I mean? No jokes, no banter, no character, just smart, nice, smiles but doesn't joke. Make sure you know what's going on. We can sign Shane Falco at quarterback. Jesse Partner, there's a lot of guys we could sign. I just don't know if we should even bother at this point. I think we got that kid Ritter. I think we should just let Ritter play because, God forbid, he might actually play well, guys. I mean, he was in a tough battle with Clay Toon to have that backup job to the starter, and he just barely lost. I mean, they said it was close. And then when he lost, the Raiders saw it and went right over there and claimed him off their practice squad. Yeah, see, Mahomes is a phony. He was faking the ankle injury when our guy Max Crosby rolled over on him and brought him down, and he started limping in the game. That was all BS. That was BS. I called BS. I made a video where I said BS. It was so phony. Doc Raider, greetings, Raider Bear. Would you believe I encountered a Bengals fan at work, a stack of grunt work files, and a scowl from me put that into his trash talk attempt, right? Cullen Baldridge, Kermit's back in. Trying to listen while driving, but you keep getting off, but I'm here, Bear. Right on. Norv Turner has got to be 100 years old now. No thanks. Jim Garrison, I get that, but you have to understand there's certain principles of football that you can teach a football player that in this era they don't know. You have to remember a lot of these young quarterbacks are coming into the league with only experience throwing the ball from the shotgun. Okay, Anthony Richardson, that some people are saying we should trade for with the Colts, that guy's so green, he knows nothing. He knows nothing, guys. He only had a handful of starts in his entire semi-pro career or college, whatever. You know what I mean? And then, boom, right up to the pros. He's still learning everything. He doesn't know how to read. He does not know how to read defenses. He does not know how to go through his progressions. He does not know how to move the pocket and understand what the difference is between a guy getting ready to sack you or a guy that's just moving your offensive lineman around, and he's going to keep his blocks. So don't panic and just stay here, or just take a step back and then deliver the ball. And by deliver, I mean throw it out of bounds if there's nothing there. Throw it in the dirt at another player that's standing somewhere. Throw it to your valve, etc., etc. He's got to go through all of that. And when you try to do that at the NFL, 90% of the time, Ryan Tannehill is the exception to the rule. So if you're tapping on your keys, Ryan Tannehill right now, stop. I've already apologized to the guy for laughing at the idea that the Dolphins were going to convert him to quarterback from wide receiver. I thought that was ridiculous. I thought it was impossible. I said, no way, no how, no way in hell. And not only did they do it, he was successful. He really was. I mean, obviously he didn't win a Super Bowl or anything, but I mean, the guy was a winner. He had games where he beat us. In fact, if I remember correctly, the very last game in Oakland, he beat us with the Titans. That guy's, he's crafty. He just is. I like guys like that. There's just guys that have that, that thing, and they're just hard. You know what I mean? You see that kid Love that's throwing the bean at quarterback for the Green Bay Packers? Soft. He's soft. I don't care what he's done so far. I don't care about that run he had in the beginning. Remember, every young quarterback that comes in the league that has any talent level whatsoever always has a good first year and threatens to be Rookie of the Year. That's why Caleb Williams looks so bad right now. He's not even dominating right now. Usually a rookie dominates in the beginning because other teams don't have tape on him. You don't know what he's going to do for your roster. You know what I mean? So you have to just try to play their playbook. But once you've got video on the guy, you know what I mean? That's it. You're going to go down, and you're going to get beat up, and you're going to get blitzed, and they're not going to believe your ball fakes and things like that because they have video on you to study, and they know when you ball fake, it's a ball fake. So they're going to run through your chest, get you wet, and then walk it dry. Rick Samarano, that's my good friend right there. What's up, brother? Always there for Raider Bear. Kevin Kahu, Hano, wow. My people's in the house. Rick Samarano, Kevin Kahu, Hano. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Anna Diaz Rincon, my first supporter ever. Love you, girl. Armando Medrano, what's up, brother? I'd like to see Bradley in there at some point. I don't think Bradley's going to get an opportunity because he doesn't have the position in the NFL to get an opportunity. He's a hanger-on, guy that's a UDFA or a low draft pick, whatever. And, guys like that, they won't, the owner doesn't like you to even give guys like that an opportunity unless everyone in front of him is dead. Because you're paying them a lot of money, and you just don't want the guy you're paying peanuts out there. If you got another guy you're paying, millions and millions, get him out there. We got to find out if you can earn that. And then if the answer is no, then maybe you look at Bradley. You know what I mean? But you say Bradley. Don't forget we have a tenuous situation at quarterback at best. I don't think Gardner Minshew's going to see the field again. Not yet. He'll miss at least 2 games for Ritter, and by then we'll probably have AOC back. And then they'll give him the opportunity. They don't want Gardner out there anymore. They know now that, whatever they may have seen from Gardner Minshew in the past, he just doesn't have it right now. And I'll be the first to admit it because I was a Gardner Minshew defender. I was saying to all of you, give the guy a chance. Well, we did, and it's been nothing but bad. Now, does that have something to do with the offensive line, play calling, the play, scheme, play, just the players he's playing with and whether they're hurt and, mixing and matching them? We could give him excuses all day, but what's the point? Okay, so some of the names you're going to hear are guys like Kellen Moore, Eric Bieniemy. Although we do know about Bieniemy now, he really kind of looked like the stereotype that he was just running Andy Reid's offense is true. I think that's true. Because the moment he got to Washington, they have a new offense, but it never really got off the ground. But was that because Washington didn't have good personnel? No, they actually did. Not a lot, but they had enough. They had a lot of young players that were fast, good receivers. They had a lot of good receivers. They had 2 or 3 guys at running back, and then their defense was, decent. And yet they still were languishing. They ended up trading Chase Daniels to the Niners. And now Chase Daniels is going to be available. See, to me, that's someone we should sell out for. I don't think Chase Daniels has lived up to his potential, but I think with Max Crosby staring at him, he's not going to be able to take it easy and be lazy. He's going to be pushed. You know what I mean? It's like if you're an NBA player and you end up playing with Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan or LeBron James. If you, Kobe Bryant. But if you end up playing with one of those guys, it's like holy. You want to make sure you're keeping up your end of the deal. Joey Rivera, there's no news on Michael Mayer because Michael Mayer is not allowing any news out there. And the reporters and the Raiders especially are respecting that. The little bit of input we've gotten about what's going on with Michael Mayer is it's a loved one. Now, we don't know if it's, family blood, if it's someone he went to school with, that he was best buds with. I don't know. And to be honest with you, I don't even want to speak to it because even if I did know, I probably wouldn't tell you because you can hear it another way. I don't want to talk about a Raiders business. Not that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Not that kind of stuff. I got asked about loyalty to the Raiders. My response is that I am not able to donate blood because my blood type is silver and black. Excellent. Most impressive. Yeah, the Bears did get embarrassed by the Cardinals. Rick Samarano, Bradley was a UDFA. Now, see, that was what I thought. I just wasn't sure, so I didn't want to sound like I was being sure. But anyway, having said that, I mean, look at Dylan Laube. I scouted Dylan Laube, months ago. Before we'd even picked him, I said, if we get this kid, it's going to roll. And then we'd get him. And then on top of getting him, we don't use him. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Tanking. Now, I could see that maybe Antonio Pierce now is in on the tanking, but he will see it as honorable because he's being told to do it by Mark Davis, Tom Brady, and Richard Seymour. And if those guys are telling him to do it, what choice does he have? He'll either do it or he'll get fired. So, okay, here's the coaching job. You get to be the head guy. I'll take the interim title off, give you a couple years, but you're going to be sitting on the seat unless you're going to be taken off the seat unless you really win. In other words, it's going to be 2 or 3 years of them imprinting what they want to do with the team, the roster, the players, onto the Raiders for Antonio Pierce. Then they're just going to give him a season, maybe 2. If they feel like they've given him enough pieces to go along with the other ones he has at that time, and they feel like there's enough there to go out there and get it, then he better get it, or you know what I mean. But I understand why the majority of people who are watching this, that have seen other shows today, that are talking about what's going on this season, they feel like Antonio Pierce is gone at the end of the season, and I can't argue with that. Not because I agree with it or disagree with it, but what I mean is there's still too many variables. In other words, he's an NFL guy. Those guys were NFL guys. They know him. If they know him, they may let him ride this out and give him at least those 2 years he may have left on his deal. Had we shopped Adams and Myers during the draft, we would have gotten a quarterback, but we didn't. I get that, but did someone come out of this other than Jaden Daniels that makes you feel like we really lost something for sure? You know what I mean? I know we've heard about Penix looking pretty good in practice for Atlanta, but that's not on the field stuff. So I don't know how to feel about that. I think that we have more picks, though, this season. I think we'll make more moves to get more picks because they're going to want to move up this time. And Tom's not going to let Tom, but he's not going to let Telesco sit on his hands. He won't. Even if Telesco never goes up in the draft, and he never does. I looked it up. The entire time he was the general manager for the Chargers, and that was 10 years, he never moved up. He never traded assets to move up, not once, in a decade. But if you notice, and I always make this argument for Telesco, he did always build good Charger teams. They were good. Now, did they always win? Of course not. The Chargers, they've always been kind of a loser, 60-plus years of, never having won a ring. But, and our fans are mad at us, and we have 3, should have 4, rightfully. We tried to give Uncle Rico a chance, but it's been too much of a disappointment. Agreed. Raiders! Corey LG, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Beautiful, kids. How's it going, brother? He says, just want to say it's been a dark, gloomy season, but I just want to shine some light on a few positives. The O-line guys we picked up, wow, they're playing lights out. And to post an elite grade at 91% for the first game starting at center. And then the right guard, we are doing the right way, building this line with them. The future can be bright with them moving forward. We need a god-darn running back. Shaking my head. What are your thoughts? Welcome to the show, brother. Great post. I would say this. I do think we still have to look at a running back. I like Alexander Madison, but it's hard to evaluate what he's been thus far other than a nice satellite back. A guy that can go up the middle every once in a while, but has the speed to get outside and catch little dump passes and then make them hurt. And so I feel like he's a valuable player, but we do still have to look for our next Josh Jacobs. We miss you, Josh. Why? Stupid Raiders. Yeah, it is that, Vicky Ginn. I respect his privacy, and I just don't like talking about guys' that part of their business. Not that part. You know what I mean? I just don't have interest in that. Like when our wide receiver was in the car accident that killed that beautiful young lady. Sorry, Tina. And so, I'm not saying his name. I know what his name is. HR. Okay, but I'm not saying his name because I don't want to say his name. But anyway, long story short, that was bad. Well, Rick Samarano, Dylan Lauby's going to be okay, but a lot of people are attributing a fumble to how he played on one play to why he's not seeing the field anymore, and that's ridiculous. If that were actually true, that would be ridiculous because he had one fumble, he now shouldn't play any more running back. I mean, for crying out loud! I mean, he's got hands and moves like a wide receiver. He has the stout frame and the vision to play running back successfully. We have a multi-talented weapon sitting over there, and they won't give him a chance. Bradley. See, we're back to Bradley. That was what I was trying to explain. When you have no cred and you're just some guy we take a chance on, you don't get to step in front of the guys that have real contracts, that are potential stars and stars. I was surprised that Alexander Madison got as many balls as he did instead of Amir Abdullah. Amir hasn't been great, but he's damn sure gotten a lot less snaps. Carlos Rader said, every year we talk about the same tooth winning seasons in 20 years. Well, I don't talk about our winning seasons. You won't get that from me, Carlos, because to me, that's just living in the past. I don't do that. The team is bad right now, and they need to make adjustments, and they need to make moves, because we're going to see what their frame of mind is. If they don't make a move by the deadline of any kind of significance, we are tanking. We are tanking. And you can do it justified because you can justify doing it because you've got talent out there, but they want Tom to. Mark Davis really wants Tom to build this. That's all I can really say. I just know that for sure. He really wants Tom to be the architect of what we become moving forward. So I have a very strong intuition that we're going to see another revival of the Patriot way in Las Vegas. And then Derek Carr, second to the last game of the season, is going to lose to us, and he'll have officially lost to every single team in the NFL and be the only quarterback in history that can say that. No. I'm not a Derek Carr. In between the guys and girls who like Derek Carr and the guys and girls who don't like Derek Carr. I like to get right in the middle of both sides and go, do you guys know about this little stat that Derek Carr has? See, I just start the shits. I don't make them. I just start them. And then they go, what about? Deadpool. The Creaser cheat again. No kidding. Dustin King. It's worth a rewatch, bro. It's worth a rewatch. I like also what I seen with Ritter in just that little bit. He's shown some good things. Some might not agree, but I feel like just being thrown in the mix, I think it could be a diamond in the rough. Not saying he'll win out, but I feel like he'll be a different kind of raw energy to these guys, especially with his connection with Trey Tucker back from Cincinnati. Just don't be surprised if he brings some consistency to the offense. Curious, what do you think about him, and what he might be able to do? I like him like you like him. I think Ritter has a real opportunity. He has a bionic arm. I've seen video. The guy can throw the ball to Omaha. He can throw the ball to Omaha set, and it will get there every time. And so I like that, but the reason he lost out the battle to Clayton Tune, the backup for the Cardinals, was because Clayton Tune was a little bit more of a pocket guy. Now, as I say that sounds like I'm saying Ritter's not a pocket guy. He is. But Ritter is like Gardner Minshew, that one small bit. He does like to use his legs because he has a big frame. Think of Taysom Hill with the Saints. Now, most of you know Taysom Hill, just real quick. He's a quarterback that has a very muscular body. He's extremely athletic, very fast, and loves to just drill guys. So even though he's a quarterback, he's also a running back. And he can move and run and hit like a running back. And he doesn't fumble. He's pretty solid player. Now, what I'm saying is Ritter kind of sees that in himself. That he'll go back, go progression 1, progression 2, progression 3. Oh, it's not there. Safety valve, no. All right, I'm going to tuck it and run. I don't see anyone here. My guys took him deep, so I'm going to go get 8 yards and then slide. He can do that, but he can do it very effectively. He did it very well in college, so it could be helpful for us, and that would be what would make him look nice. Because if he just does that occasionally, that's moving the chains. that would reignite our offense. Now we don't have to get 7 yards on every play to hopefully make it on third down. Bear! What's up, James? Hi, Princetta. 2-24, and Mayfield gets the ball back with a chance to send it to overtime. Nice. Baker Mayfield's gotten pretty tenacious lately. Truly said, a Raider man has the right to his opinion, and Raider Bear caves it to the next guy. He has good knowledge where the Raiders are going. Even though they lost, I still look at the way he says it, because the players have lots of talent, but all the plays come from the sidelines. All the calls come from the sidelines. So we get that screened out, sailing, big-time Raider Nation gold Raider Bear. Appreciate that, Steve Soriano. Much love. Welcome to the show. Now, I would say this. If we do start this sort of Patriot thing through our coaching staff, I don't really care. I don't. I'm done with caring about that. It's obvious that Mark Davis isn't just courting that. He wants it. He's been trying to make it. He was trying to court Tom Brady and then got him to buy into the Las Vegas Aces female WNBA team, then gets him to buy into the Raiders, and he was trying to have his former offensive coordinator as the head coach for him to pump in and work things through. Now, here's the other curveball. I gave you all of those. I don't think anyone else gave you this one. What about Byron Leftwich? Because remember, him and Byron Leftwich left as friends. They were good. Byron Leftwich is who he won the Super Bowl with the Bucs. Him and Byron Leftwich had something. Now, it is true they bumped heads too, but they had a connection that won a Super Bowl. He was able to convince Byron Leftwich to go with the plays and the material that he brought from New England, but he was impressed and said how Byron Leftwich picked up the offense and then started to know, like Tom, when it was time to use this play or this play to burn the defense that was in front of you. And Tom kind of stepped back and went, damn, all right, Byron, you know what you're doing. And so him and Byron really had a thing. I could see him bringing Byron Leftwich in. And by the way, the Raiders bringing in a new potential black head coach, as we've done many times, as we've done now. You know what I mean? I love it. I honestly, I like Byron Leftwich a lot. If you brought him back to the if you brought him now to the, I don't think he's in the NFL right now. If you bring him to the Raiders, I mean, there's that offensive connection again between Tom and Byron to get wins on the field for the Raiders. If that's the final product, and it produces a winner for the Raiders, fine by me. Alexa, resume! Yeah, I love how she listens to me, even when I'm being sassy. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran, much love. Raiders! For those of you who missed my show, watch the replay. I love you. I'll see you soon. Raider Bear Family page. Peace!